Okay. All right. There's a whole lot going on. If you guys want to check us out, you can hit us up, catch us over at Instagram, The Marion Ghana Show. But we're going to do this strictly from Instagram. But if you guys want to catch the guests and everything, you're going to have to go over there and replay. So we're going to get this started soon. All right. You know what? I think I should set it up. Let me see if I could change a little something around. Should have thought of this a minute ago, but I didn't. So bear with me. My glasses look crooked when I'm on this camera for some reason. All right, let me see. All right, here we go. Let me clear my throat. All right, there's a lot going on today, seemingly always, but it's a Saturday. It's a rest day. Rest from all the stresses of work, from daily hustle and bustle in life. This is episode 3 of The Black Church Don't Want Women to Be Married, or sometimes I title it, Do Pastors Really Want, excuse me, oh man, let's do this over. This is terrible. You see, these are live takes. This one will be deleted anyway. All right, guys, what's up? This is Stephen Lyles, the Marion Ghana Show here on Instagram. Hey, if y'all over on YouTube, that's y'all right there. Get over to Instagram, because that's where we're going to continue to do the live shows. But I do want to put together a live show for YouTube on Saturdays too. That's going to be possibly in the evening. That's basically going to be directed at us over here in the West. And we definitely want to continue to build our content with our brothers and sisters over on the continent. Because ultimately, it's all about not just one or the other, it's about the two coming together to breed a new us, a new race of strong individuals who have access to the continent and the US, UK, or whatever, but have access to the entire world now. So that's what this is all about. We're going to laugh. We're going to joke. We're going to have fun. Oh, my goodness. Let's try it again. Because I thought for the last 10 minutes, I was live. Welcome back to the Marion Ghana Show. This is your host, Stephen D. Lyles. There's a lot that's been going on today, but things go on every day. So, such is life. One thing I want to point out, I don't want to say it in a negative way, but just that I knew that the content up from a year ago when I just started here on YouTube, basically, because my channel was dormant for about 10 years. I wasn't doing nothing on YouTube since the first time I moved to Ghana. And there's a video, as I didn't even get it from the owner. There was some channel, I don't remember, but had a lot of Kevin Samuels videos or whatever. So I downloaded and uploaded it to try to, at this time I'm trying to figure out how the whole YouTube world works or whatever. So I uploaded different videos of a couple different people trying to figure out how views are attracted or whatever. And upon that, like I said, this video was uploaded last year, like 6 months ago. And I wish instead of sending a strike my way, that my guy Kevin Samuels would have just messaged me, hey, you still got this up from last year sometime you uploaded it. I would gladly took it down. I'm just a small ass channel. Don't nobody know me. So it it's kind of hurtful because I always try to look at everybody as brothers, us as one family, and do our best to look out for another. Those who are considered to be beneath me, I do everything that I can to help them, as I would like others who are way above me to do. But that's really not the case with us. We talk a lot about brother this, brother that, black people this, black people that, but we be the first ones to strike another man down if he's trying to obtain the same equal success as others. And it's a shame because I just wish that my brother Kevin Samuels would have just said, "Hey, you got this video of my content. Take it down." I would have gladly done it. I forgot it was even up there for a long while until I started seeing comments the other day on it. And like I said, I this video was up there for a long time. This was before I even started on my own videos. And like I said, for me to have a YouTube strike for that nonsense, um, it is what it is, man. I mean, ultimately, I know where I'm headed in life, and I know what I have to do and accomplish. First, for me, my God, my family, and then my people. But I just want to remain a certain way. I just always want to be someone who always does right by people. And even when I see people need a little help, I always want to be that person to help when possibly can. And that's just the way I feel about situations in life, man. I, I can never, I don't care where this goes over the next few years, how popular it becomes. I'm never going to see myself trying to keep someone else down. If taking what I do would help someone get to where they want to get or help feed their family, hey, go ahead. Go to town on it. I don't care. I mean, I'm gonna do what I have to do over here to eat and feed my family the best way possible by different means. So I'm not gonna depend on one avenue. That's just how I feel about the situation. But like I said, man, it's no hard feelings. I mean, people have the right to do what they want to, whatever it is that they own. So I'm not bitching about it. I'm just saying that I thought that it could have been done differently. And that's just me though. All right, let's get to it. All right, this is episode 3. So we did a couple replays throughout the week. This is episode 3 of "Do Pastors in a Black Church Keep Women Single by Design?" Do that. We've discussed it a few different ways. It was all fun. But before we end this episode tonight, let's get the finality. Let's get the final decision on, is that a yes or no? And I think I'll give you that right now because you know my answer. My answer is yes. Yes, they do. Last night, as we discussed, sis was going on about spiritual father this, spiritual father that. So that's where all these things. That's where all these things fall apart at. Because even with her, fun, fun guest had a great time. But even with the likeness of her, is many of her. There are many of ladies who think like this, that think that these men who call themselves pastors, who are not qualified to be pastors, mind you, the majority of them are not. If you look at scripture, the majority are not even qualified to be pastors, not called. But you see, church and pastoring is a big business. It's a money business. It's like anything else in life. But when people get under the influence of these people, it's impossible to change the minds of people, especially women. Women are so much more easily deceived than men. This is by the way that we're told this in the beginning of life. So with females, they have to understand that because of their hard-headedness and stubbornness to follow the lead and direction of their husbands or their husbands that could have been, these men have just walked away from the church. It had, for the last 2 decades, that's been going on here in Black America. That's why in Black America, there are almost no men in the church. The only men that are left are of the so-called, what you call them, LGBT community. Outside of that, you don't really find any men in the church. The women ran the men off. They ran them off. and they're not coming back. So with the ladies in the church who are just getting older and older and older and seeing that their lives are being wasted away, what do you want me to tell you? And those who do get married in these church atmosphere, it's always chaotic because you got these ladies who are very impressionable with these men who call themselves spirit fathers and so forth. Then you got the type of men that are in the church that are, for most part, are weak men or by I don't want to. Just got to get uploaded to YouTube, so I don't want to say too much. But um, if that's the way they are, then so be it. No issue with that. But it causes nothing but toxic relationships. It's bad all around. There are no legitimately successful marriages coming out to church today, especially the black church. You can look all around. You see it. You can see the results. Whether you're in your own town or you step out of your town, it doesn't change. There are not these pews in these churches that are filled with couples, men and women, who are coming in together with family. The type of men that are left have been brought up to believe this nonsense. But you see, with the technology age today, a lot of people are becoming more informative on a lot of things. And they've seen that this scam has been going on long enough. And these men today don't want anything to do with it. These men have realized that it's best for me to go get someone outside of these so-called churches than it is inside. Because they know the drama and the nonsense that come with these women. They don't want nothing to do with it. And the whole marriage is down dramatically all over the world. But in our community, more so than ever, these churches aren't helping. You have not seen in the last year, the last 5 years, the last 7 years, you haven't seen a dramatic increase in females getting married in the churches and these churches being filled with men. You see the very opposite. It's constantly decreasing. That should be a red flag. Something is wrong. If you see something is wrong, what do? You either fix it or remove yourself from it. If you're on a burning plane and the wing just fell off, but you got a parachute, do you just continue to ride in the plane and say, well, whichever way it's going to go, it's going to go? You take your parachute, jump out, save your life, save a lot of heartache and pain. I mean, at some point, decisions have to be made. Because the type of men y'all looking for, y'all not going to find them in the church because they are not there and they will not return back to there. So you have to decide where you're going to find your husband. Unless you want the ones that you see in the church and live a less than stellar life and, for the most part, struggle. A lot of these men are followers, not men who go out and do and create and make great things happen. These men are followers of other men. So they don't have the ability to be great. They don't. It's just a fact of the matter. All right, like I said, we here on YouTube. My guys here on YouTube. If you want, go over to Instagram. If not, stay here, whatever. But we'll upload this in a little bit. All right, man. We're gonna get on with our first guest. Give me about 30 seconds, as we always do, and we'll get to it. All right, y'all. Peace. I'm like peace, like I went for good. I'll be right back. goodness. People are pissing me off today. Really. People are pissing me off. Why me? Why me? Why me? All right. So I don't know what we're looking at right now.
I'm sorry.
All right. Um,
Anything?
Jenny's back. Sorry for last night. We went so overboard last night that we had to get you back on here today. So no worry. You got the scarf going on now.
Yeah. My hair is up, so I want to go down.
Yeah, you look like you aged about 20 years. I'm just playing.
Okay.
Anyway, all right. So these people are going to make me really go off, but I'm trying to keep that away, but nothing. Did you hear that barking?
Uh, no, it's gone down.
Hmm. All right. Now you're
No, I'm okay.
all right. Well, I'm not okay. All right, but it's just really annoying. All right, sorry about that. All right, let's get to it. All right, you already know what it's about. You already know what we're discussing. First and foremost, let me get your thoughts.
Okay. Um, I feel it's a yes and a no to an extent
No.
because it varies from different churches and their doctrine.
What you mean, like different denomination or just different churches?
Yeah, different churches have different doctrines, so it reflects how they communicate with themselves. So I
So,
can't give a steady answer.
what did the doctrine have to do with these women sitting in these churches as all singles?
It's I guess the teachings they give to them and then how willing they are to accept suitors from outside. Like there's some churches that wouldn't want you to marry outside the church. It must be a member of that church. So if you
Then,
bring a non-member,
well, if
they
that's the
wouldn't
case,
raise you.
if there's any church that believe, first of all, I've never heard that. But if that's true, then those ladies deserve to get to be alone for the rest of their life. Because only an idiot would even believe something like that. What type of fool would say that unless you're a member of my church, you can't marry someone outside of this particular church? That don't even make sense.
Yeah, I think they still do that. I think I've heard of it. So you have to, the man has to be a member of the church before you get married to him. And if she's not a member, you have to bring her in. So
Now you
As
see,
I say, very
now you
dangerous.
see what I mean. That these men do not want these ladies in these churches anymore. You see why? That's just another example. That's one more example. You're telling me that these ladies are told that unless the man is a member of the church, which most of these men are not members, they're not even there anymore. But in order for you to marry them, you got to bring them in a church. How could anyone have that power over another human being? I don't get it.
Yeah,
That is
actually,
not,
some churches have
there's
that.
nothing scriptural about that. That's more satanic than anything. But a lot of,
That's why I said the doctrines.
yeah, but it's a satanic doctrine. It's not a scriptural doctrine. You ever heard, you ever read the part where it said, do not add and do not remove from these words? And anybody who does will be written out of the book of life?
Yeah, I think I've heard.
Yes, because it's there in the book,
But
the last book of the Bible. It makes clear that anybody who adds their doctrine to this will be cast into the lake of fire. That goes back to Matthew, where it says that a lot of people who said they led these churches, who did many miracles, all these things in my name, I will look at them and tell them, you workers of lawlessness, I never knew you. This is how dangerous this is. A lot of these people who are leading these churches are the same ones who are being to get thrown into the lake of fire. But a lot of y'all follow these men as ladies.
yeah, most ladies, they get ladies more, and it's a thing here in, should I say, down in Nigeria. We have so many churches, and 99% of their members are females, and
Say
most of
that
them
again.
believe
Say
they.
that part one more time.
I said 99% of the members are females
There you go.
because most of them believe that, okay, if they're in church, they're working, that they will get someone to marry from this. So people believe like that. So
But yet, it
yeah,
doesn't come true.
yeah. Sometimes it does, but it doesn't really work out well because it feels like a match, mixed match. Like, okay, you bring a brother for you. Okay, this sister is very hardworking, so she'll make a good wife, and then you get married to the person based on referral because he was referred from this elder in the church or something, and then maybe a month into your marriage or something, you start seeing characters that were not sort of to stuff like that.
So it doesn't work out. You said, oh, well,
Yeah,
sometimes it does, but this is what happened. So that means it doesn't work out.
yeah,
And
that's for churches that.
look to what you just said. You said, see, it goes back to what I said, that it's all about a money thing. The women are kept single because of money. Now, you said that these churches are telling these ladies either he has to be a member or you have to drag him. First of all, that's like a cult. That's how cults work. So I grew up as a JW, Jehovah's Witness. So I know exactly how cults work. They're all in these churches. Anytime you're telling me that the man has to become a member, why? Because their finances are going to stay with that church. Do you see what I mean by it's all about the money?
Yeah.
If it
Well,
was
it's not all churches, like I said, just few churches, but I know there are churches
no, it's
like
not
that.
few, it's the majority.
But
It's the large majority.
not all. Some the doctrine they have is that if you want to get married to someone, you have to do the um, you do the why. Okay, if it's a female that's getting married to a male, she'll have to do the wedding in her church, and then she would join her husband in his church.
Who
So
who
it's very.
where's that at in the Bible?
That's why I said church's doctrine is not in the Bible. I'm not said that. Well, you're supposed to join your husband. I don't know, but that's how they do it. You wed in her church, and then you go to his church.
Again, I said that in the Bible, you're supposed to go from your father's house to your husband's house. Y'all women are going from your father to university to your pastor and then to your husband. That's why it doesn't work
Yes.
out. Y'all doing it out of order. And when you do things out of order, you don't get what you expect. Do you see what I'm saying? It's supposed to be from your father to your husband. It's not supposed to be your pastor, your college professor, all these movements y'all doing. The man you are to marry is supposed to go to your father, and your father is supposed to vet that man and study that man,
Yeah, true.
and then sit with you and let you know what he feels, and he feels if it's the right fit, because your father knows you more than anybody else. Your father understands men. You're his daughter. These men raised y'all girls from the time y'all were coming out the womb to the time that y'all university school whatever. They know you. They know what's best for you. These pastors don't know anything, but y'all continue to move in a way that's not scriptural. But y'all say y'all believe in the Bible. That's why I said that anytime y'all put these pastors ahead of your father and the man y'all to marry, it's always going to be a breakdown. These things don't work out well. And the ones who do stay married, they stay miserable for the most part. Men,
Okay.
and you have to understand, there are men who could live their lives like this. But like I said, there are different types of men in the world. Men who are strong men, builders, all that productive, we have egos. We're very egotistical. You have to be to go out and compete in the world. With that comes the things that we desire the people around us to be. Those type of men, and I keep repeating this, those type of men are not going to put up with a wife or a wife to be having a pastor's authority over her in any type of sense of the word. They're not. That's why, like you said, 99% of the churchgoers are all women because the men don't want them. The men don't want them problems. The only men that go for them are the weak men who can't feel like they can't do any better. That's why. How often do you see these men who are building companies, doing this, putting this stuff together, go build a hotel? These men are not in these churches looking for wives. Why is that? You never thought about that?
Um, Not really, but I feel they're not. I don't know. They're very busy, and most
Busy
of
ain't got
them
nothing to
seem
do with
to
it.
be kind of schedule. Don't know.
Busy ain't the thing. It's that they don't want anything to do with it. Because they know what it is. Men have been running away from the church for a long time now, for the last 20 years. The churches in Black America are all empty with men. The only men that are left are men who are not straight, men who are not heterosexual. They're the only men left in the church. Because they get along with the women. And all the women, for the most part, are older, all single. Listen, all these things were done by design, but y'all didn't see it coming. And now that you see the results of the generations before, what I'm saying is y'all gonna have to make a decision. Y'all going even gonna follow right after their lead and become exactly what they became, or y'all gonna have to figure it out and say, you know what? I gotta remove myself from the situation and go and find my husband and put myself under his authority and remain there. You can't be under the authority of two men. If you're under the authority of your pastor, that means your man is a weak man, and he can't be what you need. If everything went chaos, if everything World War III came about, the power grids and everything was shut down, food supply became low, all these things happen, and you got to go out and really fight for your food. You as a woman, it's not going to be able to overpower a man who's fighting for the same meal that you're fighting for. Your pastor's not going to come out of his home to fight for you for it. You see what I'm saying?
Oh wait, okay. There are cases where the pastor serve as father figure, maybe for those that lost their fathers and stuff like that because I think their churches are still like they have houses for members that was maybe that bereaved or bereaved members, something like that. So what they say the pastors as father figure. So I think to them the pastor an authority and they'll always run to him and that's possible.
Like I said, this is why church is so dysfunctional. It's one of the most toxic places you could put yourself. You have these men, as you said, y'all call pastors, and you have what deacons and whatever. But in the Bible, each temple had to have 12 members leading it. And the reason that was made that way, that God made it that way, so too much power wouldn't be in the hands of one man, because God understands that absolute power corrupts men. There's a terminology that says power corrupts, but absolute power corrupts absolutely, something like that. But meaning that when a man is given a lot of power, he's always going to be corrupted. That's why politicians are corrupt. God knows this about all men. All men are the same when it comes to that because we all born evil. So if God foreknew that in order for these temples to be ran, 12 members had to be on board, and all 12 members had to have wives and have families and be in control over their own household. This is in the Bible, though. But y'all don't study the scriptures. So y'all just hear what's told to you and you believe it. But now you got all these men running around with all this power. And for the most part, they're keeping the majority of these women single for the benefit of their so-called tithes, which is unscriptural, but this is not that channel. For these so-called tithes, and like you said, some of them are even demanding that if the ladies get married, a member, or they have to make him a member. It makes absolutely no sense. That's wickedness. So in actuality, what I say is correct. These pastors are by design keeping these women single, unless they're going to marry in a way that is going to benefit them financially and keep that money rolling in. It's all about money.
Like I said, it's not our churches.
All right, give me your church. What about your church?
My church.
You go to
Yeah,
church?
yeah, sure I do. Um, yeah, you can marry from anywhere. I guess, yeah.
I mean, what's the ratio between men and women in your church?
Obviously, the females are more in all churches in the white population, so it definitely reflects the church population too. But on the scale, it's well, females are more, but the males are also there too.
It's always mostly young males for the most part.
Mm, yeah, males, even older males are there.
But you see, Africa is such a religious country, and there's a
Yes,
downfall.
very,
And
very,
there's a
very
downfall
religious.
to most all blacks. The reason why,
True, I
yes,
agree.
the reason why we can't take the next step forward is because we got too much religion. Seriously, we have too much of that nonsense, and it does nothing but hold us back. Let's talk about like these corrupt demonic Latter Day Saints. They as demonic as
Huh?
ever, huh?
What's that? What did you say?
Um, what you call them, Latter Day Saints or whatever, the Mormons or whatever you want to call them. They're they're very we know them over here because they were brought up by Joseph Smith. Joseph Smith. I don't know if you know the story of Joseph Smith or not. Probably not. But basically, what they did was in their time, in a recent time, black people were not allowed to be Mormons because they said we was cursed people and we would serve them in hell and all this other type of stuff. Yeah, all these bad teachings about black people. But it was a civil rights movement with black people that forced them to lose all that doctrine. With that being said, I think I'm saying this to say this. Even these people, when they saw their numbers dwindling, because you could pull up YouTube, you go on YouTube and look up ex-Mormon or ex-Jehovah's Witness. In the US, their numbers are dropping like flies all over the place. So what they sought is to go after the continent of Africa to get more members, to boost their membership, because they knew in Africa they don't have the technology, and their internet access and everything that we have is not what it is in Africa, where we got information flying all around here, college, university, schools, whatever. The information in America flows like nothing else. So when something is false and needs to get checked, we're all over it. That's why I said if you go on YouTube, you look at thousands videos of ex-Mormons and ex-JWs and because we have the information. But these people run over to Africa because they know you people are not informative. They know that y'all people don't open books and research. They know this. So they bring these different doctrines of religions over there to Africa because it's much easier to convince someone who doesn't have the information to challenge it back. You get what I'm saying? So with that is meaning this. All these religions are running rampant in Africa. Instead of checking them and saying, you know what, let me see if what you're bringing me is true and correct by matching it up with the scriptures like the Bereans did. Let me see if what you say in A matches up with A in the Bible. Y'all don't do that. Y'all hear these things, people bring you these doctrines, and they fill your minds with all this nonsense. And they got y'all running around believing every little thing, and none of the stuff is benefiting y'all. It's holding y'all back. Because it was meant to hold you back.
Yeah. Right from, should I say, ages back.
Yes, but it's like I said, in America, it's not so bad as it used to be because of the internet. Now that we have access to the internet, we have access to a lot of information about all these religions and what they have done and what their doctrine truly means and what it's saying. We have all that access. So that's why America is not a real religious country anymore, because everybody here pretty much walked away from it. When you have information, you can make a sound decision. When you don't have the information, it's harder to make a sound decision. That's why a lot of people are walking away from religion in this country. And it's not that everybody's non-religious or non-believers. They realize that, you know what, now that I actually opened the Bible and read it for myself and studied it, and seeing that these religions are not what they say they are or present themselves to be, the best thing I can do is build my relationship with God, teach it on to my family, and work hard and accomplish things in life, and do what I can to live a godly life and treat people how I want to be treated. That's what God is asking. Every man has a particular purpose in this world, but he has to be connected with God to truly know his purpose, what he was meant for. You can't find that in a church. You can't find that under a pastor. That's a relationship between you and God alone. Only God is only going to direct his men when they come to him directly. When they want to go through someone else, God is not hearing that nonsense. He doesn't want that. That was the whole reason that Christ went after the Pharisees and Sadducees. They were telling people, we're the leaders, we're the scribes, we know the scriptures, come through us if you want to get to God. And he kept checking them on that over and over. You see it over and over in scripture. The very things y'all doing is of everything he had to check the Pharisees about. And he told his people, no, these men are not going to get you there. They're just the blind leading the blind. He said, if you want a relationship with my Father, come to me. He's the mediator between him and the Father. When you go to other men, God is not hearing it. Because he's saying, I already told you what to do, and you're not listening.
Yeah, true. I know that we tend to get, or we have to get personal directions from God because yours can be different from mine, very different. But then I think also in the Bible they said there is it outpour of grace or something, the communion of gathering of saints, that the people, the congregation. So there also should be a gathering.
A gathering, when they was gathering, they gathered for two purposes. They gathered to come to figure out how to spread the word further out in the world. Y'all don't do that in church. Y'all stay in the church. Y'all sing song. They didn't do that back then. Their thing was, hey, we're being tracked by the Romans. They're executing us on sight when they see us preaching this word. How do we do this in the way that we could, get through here, get through that, and get through this land without being seen by the Roman soldiers and be able to still preach the word? That's what they were meeting up in homes for, and they was meeting up in homes, not some building that they called church. The only building that they went to was the temple, and that was just to give. That was just for prayer. For the most part, it's all prayer and for sacrifices. But we don't do sacrifice. We don't do animal sacrifices anymore. So the temple, the way they had the temple back then, is not the way that y'all do it now. The second reason that you said gathering all things together, they would bring in everything that they had to offer in order for those who didn't have anything to take, whether it was food, whether it was a little cash, or whether it was like clothing or whatever. Basically, those who had would bring everything they had each week, and those who didn't have would take what they needed as needed. Y'all don't do that.
Well, I think the church is not the building.
No, it's
For me
not.
to understand that the church is the people in it who
Us,
make up the
exactly, the
church,
body of members.
building.
Y'all got me
Yes.
calling it church because that's what y'all refer to it as, and I don't like it, but
Yeah.
I got to deal with it because that's what everybody knows it as. Church is not a building, but y'all. A lot of people say, "Oh, I'm going to church." Well, like I said, I'm not going to play the word games with people. So it is what it is. Let's just stick with how people know it or whatever. But
Okay. And then we do meet up to pray, and then in the Bible they made up to pray and draw strength because I think praying together gives you this assurance or more confidence than maybe if you're passing through things and you're praying alone. So we still do that presently. So
prayer is more
no
powerful
stress.
when you're alone. Believe it or not, the Bible said
Yeah,
so.
but there
The Bible says so. He said, "Go." He said, "Go in a place that no one can see you." This was Christ demanding his people, his followers, said, when you pray, go where no one can see you and go and speak to your heavenly Father. Prayer is more
yeah,
powerful when you're alone because it's more intimate. It's an intimate conversation between you and God. When you come together,
true.
you're supposed to be praying for the people and praying for more believers, all the things that God wants and build his kingdom. That prayer, when you come together, is not for yourself. That's supposed to be for the nations and the other people who are non-believers, for the word to reach them.
That
That's
that wasn't specified. I think you can
You can pray for
pray.
anything, but
Yeah,
he said
true, but
Paul talked about praying for the nations when you gather. You remember that when he said pray for your leaders and so forth.
yeah,
So when they was gathering, these are the
okay.
things that they were praying about. But it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. The conversation is this. We asked you about your church. You said that is a lot more women than men, like in any church. My whole question is, how do you fix that? Because the churches, the pastors are not fixing it. If they're not fixing it, then what?
Um, if they're not fixed, then I don't know. Talk smart. I don't know, but the real problem, should I say the whole problem cannot be pinned down on the church entirely because aside it's not our churches, some churches. That's one, and then why are the men leaving? Another reason because okay, churches have different doctrines that they have. So if you're a member of this church and then because of the doctrines, it's not favoring you or you don't like it, you can't live with it. You leave. You can find somewhere else to go to, or you just withdraw and then stay up by yourself. It's decisions that men take, so I don't know why.
I'm telling you why.
I
The
don't know.
the better men don't want
Sure.
anything to do with it. That's why. They don't want anything to do with church women. They seen their mother. They seen their
Church women
mothers.
or the church?
Both. Both.
Okay.
They see that the church is no good to black people. They see that they don't build schools, build supermarkets, build hospitals. They don't do any of that. Oh, that's what I was getting back when I was talking about some of the Latter Day Saints and other. I was trying to say that at least they build schools and hospitals, and even small markets for themselves or whatever. But when you go to the black church, they don't do anything. They don't better us
No,
financially. They take, but they don't do anything. They're not handing out
yeah,
jobs left and right. They're not building.
yeah,
They're not building.
not all,
No, I don't see anybody
not
building
all.
malls and hotels and none of this and giving all the jobs to their members. I don't see none of that.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, I haven't.
Oh, the yeah. Okay, that was an estate scholarship, skill acquisition. Yeah, I know.
I don't see it on those large level. And I'm not talking about just something small here or there. We have all types of programs that give away scholarships here every day. You go online and
Yeah, they do, guys.
go into a raffle and get a free scholarship tomorrow here. So we ain't talking about that. We're talking about what do they do for black people financially. They're not building anything. They're getting millions and billions of, which is tax-free dollars here, and they're not returning anything. They're not building communities. Is what I'm trying to get at. You're
Okay,
giving.
most churches don't do that. Most don't do.
No, they
Well, I
don't.
know the two that do. There few, actually, no one that do.
Well, that's neither here nor there because one don't matter to the 3.4 million of them.
Yeah, true. Well, at least it is a good life, like a positive life, and like,
I get you, but those there's an exception to everything in life. So just because it's one here, one there, but you got hundreds of thousands, millions of them who don't. I mean, the focus is supposed to be on the much larger view. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because that's what the
true.
problem is. And what I'm saying is that these men have left the church. They don't want the church and they don't want the women. They don't want the church because they know that the church don't do anything for their own community. They only take for the most part. They don't want the women because the women put the pastor's authority over the men for the most part. Like I said, you already said the one church who say to their members they can't even be married. That sounds like Jehovah's Witnesses. You can't marry unless they're Jehovah's Witness. If you're in that position, you deserve whatever comes to you. So I don't feel sorry for people who get in bad marriages under those circumstances. They deserve it. And it should be what they get too. When you allow that authority to be placed over you and that man is not your husband, you deserve everything bad that comes to you. That's how I feel about it, really.
That's such. Well, I feel the church or the churches here, because it's not just church. We have over, I don't know if I'm to count. I'm sure we have over a million church here in Nigeria. Like in a street, you can see like five different churches.
Right. And why is it that the
Like
more churches you have, the more poverty you have? Don't you find that
more
weird?
crime.
Yeah. It doesn't make
Even
sense.
though I feel there's a very big drift in churches now. Like it's no more that spiritual to an extent and wrong light and stuff like that.
You know what I noticed about my country? This one thing I have noticed. In the poor neighborhoods, there's a church on almost every corner. In the rich neighborhoods, you have to go miles between to find just one. Seriously, you ever thought about that? Even in places that I lived in Africa, like the I'm thinking about Egypt. So that's just one off because I don't know of other places like that. But let me stick with the U.S. In the U.S., those rich communities only have one church to one church per city or per town. And hold up, let your network come. All right, I don't know if we lost her. All right, looks like we lost Jenny, so we'll see if we get her back real quick. All right, there we go. All right, let me get this sun. I don't know where the sun is coming from. Yeah. All right. So what I was saying, man, think about it. The rich communities is like one church per 10, 20 miles. But when you come to the neighborhoods in poverty, there's not just one. Sometimes there's two or three on each block. Sometimes right across the street from another. Doesn't make a lot of sense now. Do it. I don't know. Figure it out. But the point is, like even she said, I know she's trying to defend her church to the best of her ability. I get that. I understand. Like she said that the ratio between men and women in the churches is ridiculously. I can't even say the word ridiculous, ridiculously off. So she even said that for a lot of them are like 99%, which is insane.
Sorry.
That's all right. But I don't know if you just heard me. I was repeating basically what the network went out that
Yeah.
in the poverty communities, there's two, three, four churches on the same block, sometimes right across from each other. You can't go a block without seeing a church half the time. But in the upper class communities, you have to go many, many, many miles just to find one. And
Very true.
I had to think about it because when I was living in Drexel Hill recently, I'm like, damn, I just thought about it. I'm like, you know what? Wasn't really that many churches around. I mean, it got to be a reason.
I don't know why, but it's shocking here. Really shocking.
Let me ask you this.
Like, people.
If these churches didn't exist and you had to just have your relationship with God and God alone, do you think that having that being in that atmosphere was going on in life? No churches, no pastors. It's just you, your father, relationship with God. Wouldn't that give you more of a motivation to go out and be active in finding your husband so that you could leave your father's house? And wouldn't that allow you to be in a position that the money y'all make to keep it in the house and build your home up and build your family up? I'm just saying, like, if it was that way, would that be the situation?
What with the situation?
If there were no churches around, would you be more motivated to go out and be actively looking for your husband so that you could leave your father's house? Man, she got a bad network. I don't know.
I don't think the church has any influence about me looking for a husband.
So you don't think with none of these women it would change a thing?
For me, so hear me now.
Yeah, it's
I think sorry
yeah. Try to hang up and do it again
because I am not
because we have everything is frozen and
tech.
hang up and come back
Okay.
because it's really bad right now. All right, guys. Glad you're all here, and this is the discussion that needs to be heard, man. That's why I have this platform because we need to talk about a lot of these things so we can figure this out. Because we got to do what's best for us now. Got to figure this out. All right, Jenny.
I was saying that the church doesn't have any influence about me looking for a husband because I'm not. I'm not going to marry a man because he's my church member. No,
All right, so that's
doesn't have
you.
any influence.
Now,
That's me.
now the majority of girls, just think about your friends. Give that same scenario. No churches existed. It was just you at your father's house, and you became an adult and wanted to leave. Do you think these girls would be more motivated to go actively walk out the house and start putting themselves out there to look for a husband?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying because a lot of them sit around in church wasting their years
I
praying
know one
about it.
of my friends were.
That's this is what I'm trying to get at. A lot of these ladies, young ladies, sit in these churches wasting time and years praying about it instead of being actively going out there and seeking it. You see what I'm saying?
Being very few that you while you prayed and waited instead of going out. So maybe socialize.
Well, if you spend too much time in a church, you don't have much time to socialize, do you? You don't have much time to travel around and get to know people from different
Yeah, that's
places.
what I'm. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're more religious that they believe that why they pray in church and wait and do other kind of things that they believe the husband will come to them.
Because
Yes.
they're taught that, and it's a damn lie. Life don't work like that. All right, Jenny having a little trouble. All right, we're going to take a 30-second to 1 minute break. If anybody's coming on, come on now. Oh, there you go, Jenny. Are you back or no? Yeah, your nut is bad. All right, I'll wait till you. All right, Jenny. All right, Jenny, stay here. Hold on. We're going to see if anybody else is coming on. Like I said, if y'all want to send y'all request, then send it now. About 30 seconds. Jenny, hang up. I'll be right back. All right. All right. Let's see if she can get back in here. I know her network is pretty bad, so sorry for that. But this is what we do, man. This is what we do. Every week we're going to continue to do this, and tomorrow's Sunday, so you guys, we got a new theme for the week coming up from Monday through Saturday. What the theme is going to be, I do not know. Decided. I haven't chosen, but soon, very soon. So stay tuned tomorrow for new theme for the week. That we're going to continue to do this on Instagram Live. Hopefully each and every day. Um, when it's not, you can catch one of our replays over on YouTube, The Marion Ghana Show. So make sure you go over to our YouTube channel, The Marion Ghana Show. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a family member. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Cut short a little bit because like I said, Genie Network. But definitely we're going to continue to build on this. And yo, whoever keep somebody's out there playing with my Facebook. I don't know what it is. I can't even get into my damn messenger. So somebody, I don't know. Every day I keep getting the same 2, 3 times a day that someone uploaded ID documents from another part of the country. And hold on. And like someone's continue to try to hack my Facebook. I'm like, who the hell am I for you to want to hack my Facebook? Like, I don't get it. And I keep having to go over the same thing every day and being blocked out of my damn messenger. So
Sorry.
It's all right. You ain't MCN, so it ain't on you. All right. So we was about to finish up. So what I was saying is that this this fairy tale that a lot of y'all ladies was given, it happens over here too. It happens all over. That you're supposed to come, you're supposed to and pray for a husband, and God will send your husband. One thing that does do that delays the inevitable, which means that half the time it's not going to happen. But also, what that does is keep that particular person there, making sure that her money continues to flow. As long as she's there praying about this, and instead of going out there, walking out of this church and actively seeking for a husband, that money that she's bringing in is going to continue to roll in. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
So,
understand you.
in actuality, this is why I say that these pastors are doing this by design. Because if they told these women to get up off your asses, stop praying about it, go out and find your husband, half of these women would never come back. They would actually go out and find a husband. And now these churches, their pockets are a little less. They're not trying to have that. It's money over everything for them, man. No, seriously. If
Some
someone really
some
cared about
church
you,
told them that
if someone really cared
like
about
some
you,
churches.
huh?
I said some churches still tell their members that right the faith without work is dead. So
But they don't apply to this though. They can say that and generalize it, but they don't apply to, hey, listen, God is not sending you no husband. Get out of here, get your butt up, go travel out, go do something, go socialize, go find your husband wherever you can find him. That should be the message. But that's not ever going to be the message. Because they don't want to lose you. Because you're a dollar sign.
well, I've seen a church sermon, I think on a Sunday or something, where the pastor was actually asking them females how to behave properly and how to walk feminine. Like, but his speech was good. So I think there are still churches out there that encourage their female to do well
Do well.
outside.
Not go out, hey, go
Yes.
find a husband and get out of here. Secondly, why is a pastor teaching this to anybody? That's the job of a father and a mother.
Because when you get to understand that without comforting you, most females, because of how most believe is here, they put more importance in their pastor, so they know very well that you they will listen to you when you say that.
All right. This is before we finish this, I want you to hey, hang up and come back. Our time has run out, so we got to come right back on. I want to finish up with what you just said, so come right back on. All right, we're back. All right, we keep running out of time, which is a good thing. Um. Anyway, let's get this back before we finish this up real quick because she made an excellent point right there that solidify all this that we've been talking about because it's like everything is coming full circle right now. All right, Jenny,
Yeah.
repeat what you just said before we just end it.
Okay. Of the pastor that advising them. Okay, I feel they do this because they know that they have influence over their females or their members in the church. So they know when they say this, people will listen and they'll work towards what they said.
So now you see why the men don't want to deal with these type of women. Now you see what I'm talking about. No, you just summed it up. That they know that the pastor has more authority than that of the parents. If he has more authority than the parents who raised you from birth, who fed you, provided, kept a roof over your head, the man who comes to be your husband don't have a chance. He doesn't have a chance.
But there are also the church too that listen to the pastor's advice. So
We talked about those type of men already. We talked about those
okay.
type of men. So they ain't the type you're looking for, though. Are they? They could be. I don't know. I don't mean to put you on the spot because I don't want this to get back to your church. So, so I'm not going to put you on the spot. But I've already talked about those men. Those men are followers. You have leaders, then you have followers. You can't be in between. You have to be one or the other. You have to be a leader or follower. These women, when they marry these men, they marry followers. And these men want to follow anything that pastor says as well. Now you have two people, a husband and wife, who are under the authority of another man that doesn't even provide for their own. That's insane. That's insanity.
I get you.
This is craziness. You ever see the movie 300? The movie 300, where the Romans was facing against Xerxes and all that. You know the movie I'm talking
No,
about?
I
Oh man,
no,
this
I haven't seen
it's
it.
a classic. But there's this part where the black guy who's like an Ethiopian or whatever, he goes with the offer from Xerxes, the god king he called himself. And when he gave him his offer, he looked at his wife, he turned around, looked at his wife again, his wife going, he turned around, boom, kicks him into this large well or whatever. But as he's kicking him, he's like, this Sparta. Basically, that's what these men need to start doing, kicking these pastors down the well. Because this man came to him, offering him, hey, I'm going to let you live, but you just have to look at us as your authority figure. But we'll let you ride, let you do whatever, but we're going to be your authority. If not, we're going to come here and kill man, woman, and child. So he's like, he'd rather have death than have the authority of another man over him, over his people. I need to get like the Spartans from the movie 300 and have y'all men kicking these pastors down that well. This is Nigeria. Seriously. So, I mean, ultimately, that's what it comes down to. So, like I said, man, you're going to have two types. You can marry somebody in these churches who are a follower. Y'all both be following this man who ain't doing nothing for y'all financially, ain't taking care of your kids. Because when y'all go broke, he ain't coming out of his pockets to take care of y'all and pay y'all bills. No, all seriousness, he ain't coming out of his pockets to pay y'all bills. So if that's the type of man you want to marry, go ahead. Then the other flip end, y'all got the choice to marry the strong men who will not allow themselves to be under anybody but God because they're egotistical, because they feel good about themselves and their abilities that is God given, and they go out and make them abilities happen for themselves so that their families can have a damn good life, and they have a lot to pass down through their legacy. Back just the same that I work for, because when I'm no longer here, 50, 60, 70 years, hopefully I have that long, whatever it is, that there's a legacy that I will pass down through all of my children. You understand? I'm not here just to be here, just to breathe air. That's not my purpose. I have a greater purpose, and that's what I'm working towards. Ambitious, strong-willed, very flawed. That's why I need God in everything that I do. I'm not strong enough. Everything that I accomplish, I understand that it's with His power and His might. He chose me to do the work that I do, to build the things that I'm building. But God has to see something in you that you desire to do this. You desire to be great. See, a lot of people say they want to be great. They want this, they want that. And nobody's willing to put the hard work in for it. Being successful in this world is extremely hard work. That's why only few people attain it. Some attain it by ill-got means, but that always comes back to them. They normally die a horrible, miserable death. All that stuff always comes back to you. But there's those who actually work hard to get it. And I would prefer it be that way than any other way because it builds your character. It builds your strength. It builds your wisdom. And you could pass all that down to a whole new generation that you put here on this earth. That is a beautiful thing. But you don't get that from a man who's just a follower. You see what I mean?
I do.
So all in all, I'm always right.
No, you're not always right.
I know. No, no. Anybody who says that, yeah, I already know. Whatever. But I'm just joking. No, I know that I'm not always right, but that's why I got you here to tell me when I'm wrong. All right,
Okay.
all right. Let's see.
Uh,
I think that's it for today. But go ahead. What you want to leave with? What? What you want to leave us with?
okay. I still have not really a question, but to ask concerning the communion together to pray and ask for grace. So if the men are out of the church and you, you have a personal relationship with God, no doubt, how would you then meet continuously to get out for more grace? Stuff like when two or three are gathered in my name, if you're there, I'm hearing your midst and stuff like
I'm
that.
gonna try to answer that. You asked me if you need things to happen for yourself or your family, whatever. How do you come together? I don't get it. You
No, like
congregate. I think you misunderstood
okay,
what I was saying. That I said that when the people will congregate with each other, they can only pray for that. That's not what I meant. What I meant is that in the scripture, that's what they were described as praying for in a particular chapter. So that was an example of what they did back then. But if y'all come together as a congregation and pray, yeah, but also you have to understand that it's not permitted. This is scriptural. It's not permitted for a woman to pray over a man. Not a lot of y'all break that commandment, break that rule. So you have to understand that certain things that we do, um,
right, it's not permitted for a woman to pray with.
hmm,
Besides, it's not permitted for a woman to pray with a man.
it's not permitted for a woman to pray over a man.
Oh, over him, like
Yes, as if she
kneeling
was his
down.
headship.
Oh,
So Paul went through this meticulously. So even when a woman prays, she's supposed to be covered. A lot of y'all don't practice that. See, a lot of these things that were put there so we can practice obedience, and through our obedience, God will bless us. But you have a lot of people who are doing it out of order, and God is saying, I can't bless y'all the way y'all want. I'm gonna take care, I'm gonna make sure I feed y'all, but I can't bless y'all the way I want to bless you because you're not being obedient to the way that I said to pray. So he said, if you would just be obedient, I will bless you. But a lot of people don't know how to be obedient because they don't open their Bibles. So God is looking at them like, if I mean this much to you, why don't you open my word and read it so that me and you can have a relationship? Because you can't have a relationship with God outside of those scriptures. A lot of people put man in place of God and don't even know it. So many people look to these pastors as God, they don't even realize it. Because the pastor's word is authority. And God is looking at it like, okay, you're taking this word as authority when I'm sitting right here waiting for you to come and congregate with me, have an intimate conversation with me and you alone. See, a lot of y'all are so far gone that y'all don't even realize. And not talking about you personally. I'm just saying as a
yeah, I
people.
know it happens. It's true. That's true.
Yeah,
It happens.
outside of the scriptures, outside of reading the scriptures, you can't have a relationship with God. You could go to these men all day, all you want. God is not going to hear you. And some people say,
Okay,
well, I got this.
so
Because everything ain't about money. A lot of things is about the spirit within. Because you can have all the money in the world and still have uneasy spirit, like Saul and so many after that. That's why rich people commit suicide a lot. It's not about money. Those things come along with obedience and working hard for it. Everything comes down to the spirit within. When you have a solid, easygoing spirit that allows you to wake up in the morning and know that there's joy within and not always be stressed out, worrying about this, worrying about that. A lot of that stuff comes with an uneasy spirit. So it's not just financially I'm talking about. Like I said, that's going
Okay.
past everything. But
So, what are cases where okay, we are humans, and there are cases where issues come up, and we feel we can handle it on our own, like we read, and then we need advice. So, the men that are out of the church now, who really want to run to anybody to help them, like advice, or they will just stay on their own.
you don't
How would they pass
you
that
don't need
stage?
a man doesn't need a man to be in a church to understand who to run to. He runs to those who he know has wisdom, who live life, who've been through a lot of things in life. God gave wisdom to a lot of different men. So this ain't got nothing to do with church. When I have problems, yeah, I might talk to my pastor, but I'm not in full agreement with a lot of things with my pastor, especially doctrinally. But I could prove the reason to him why I'm not for what he says. He could accept it or not. But I don't take doctrinal lessons from no man. I could take I could take it from 10 different men and put it together and study it and research and see which one comes out. But as far as like doctrinal advice, I don't take that from any man. Advice that I do take from is life advice that can help me in my marriage, help me be a better man. I do take that advice from him. But
From your pastor, right?
yes, like I said, I don't go to church, but I consider him my pastor still. I talk to him when I need to still, but I don't physically put myself into a church. I'm not about that type of life.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, I had a long journey. I'm actually doing a show coming up next week. I'm gonna give you the link to it. It's I think I was thinking about it, but I said, you know what, I'm gonna do this show. It's about XJWs or whatever, and I'm gonna speak about my journey from my childhood, how I left the Jehovah's Witness, um, Kingdom Hall, became a Christian, and walked away pretty much from Christianity and just dealt with God one on one. So all that through all of my everything that it cost me, that journey of mine for the first time, I'm going to speak about in length. So I'll give you the link to check that out as soon as it's posted. They're big time on the internet. So, I'm, I'm thankful that they reached back out to me and were interested in doing this interview with me. So, like I said, we'll get through that. So you'll know more about why I feel the way that I feel about religion and all this that I talk. So that discussion, which is going to be a long one, you get to know and understand why I am the way that I am today. So I posted on my YouTube too. I'm sure they'll give me permission. But if let me know that I answered about the prayer or whatever, because you were saying something about congregate. You congregate, you do whatever. Oh, you said about the man going to another man with his problems. Some men could go to their fathers. That's really why we have fathers too, as we become adults. Most men, if things were in order, the way they're supposed to work, a man would go to his father for advice when he needed concerning life matters, concerning his marriage or whatever. That's the way that it was intended to be. So it wasn't never intended for a man to run to his pastor. The pastor was only to lead the flock in the direction of spreading the word, spreading the gospel. That's what the pastor was meant for, to direct the flock and how to spread the gospel throughout all other people on the earth. They were never meant to
Okay,
be
yeah.
there to be involved in what goes on in your household and all that other type stuff. That's where your parents are supposed
I
to
think
come in
that's
at.
because people tend to see them as you as a father figure. So if somebody's father is not alive, you run to.
I see my
Okay,
pastor as
I
a
heard
father
you also
figure.
right?
My pastor's a father figure to me, but
Mhm.
I set boundaries with everybody. There are boundaries, and he understands that I have boundaries. He know what he can
Yeah,
advise. He
I
know
think
what he
that is
can,
a
huh?
personal decision then. I think that's a personal decision then because some people don't set boundaries. They just tell
Well,
anything to the pastors
an actual real man
like
will
that.
always set boundaries for people, so they know not to cross them.
Yeah, true. Because most people
Women,
say in their marriage there shouldn't be any person. Now, Not even your
No,
pastor.
not even. That's why men have to be leaders. And that's why I say it's very important to choose a man. This goes for all the ladies that's listening to this. It's very important to choose a man who's a great leader, who you see leadership skills in him. And I'm not talking about these people who are these churches doing these church duties or nothing like that. I'm not talking about none of that. I'm talking about you see him in his daily activity, his daily life. You see that he's respected as a leader. People see him that way, that you could see something in him. That's why I
Yeah.
say it's very important to choose the right individual. And when you pick a man based off just looks or whatever, and he's not a leader, I think it's going to fall apart.
True.
Men
Very
who
true.
can lead are able to hold homes together because they know how to handle pressure. I've been dealing with pressure all my life, and I got damn good at it. That's why I can lead my house. I can live the way that I live and know that my house is still intact. My wife is still going to be there. My children are still going to be provided for. They still going to look up to daddy as somebody that they even want to be, or on my daughter's side, someone that they want to marry. That's the type of example I set for everybody under my household. Because I have to learn how to be a leader. I've been on my own since I was 15 years old. Lived on my own, all that since I was 15 years old. So I didn't learn all that I learned from many parents. I learned this through a lot of hardships in life, having to be on my own, having to go through so much. But I'm glad I did, because now I could turn around and make other men leaders. See, life will do one or two things: strengthen you or it will break you. The strong ones get stronger, the weak ones get broken. That's just how it is. Not every man is built with the same spirit. It's sad, but it's that way. Can't change it. So, yes, like I said, for this episode, I believe what I said, that the churches are keeping these women single by design. And like I said, we're not going to say 100% of anybody. You can never say 100% of anybody.
Yeah.
I'm saying in general, the population, the larger population of them, this is what they do. And we discuss, like I said, so I'm going to ask you,
Yeah.
when the question is
At
brought
least
to
you.
hmm,
Yes, at least you adjusted to most percent, not all.
like I said, nothing is
Yeah.
no all. There's no all everything. The only thing I can say that all people living will die, and I don't even know if that's true. So
Yeah.
so I can't say all of anything, but I'm talking about the large majority. I'm always speaking about the majority, because when something is a majority, that's what you have to attack. You get me?
True. Yeah, I
So
do.
so we in agreement now.
Yeah.
uh,
No 100%. Wait, yeah.
so you borderline. I'm gonna let you stay on the border until we come back around to this.
Yeah.
All right, but it was definitely a great discussion, man. Have fun.
Yeah. True.
Definitely, like I said, keep doing this every week. We'll get back to the normal. Have no idea what it's going to be. I'll figure it out though. But oh yeah, next week I got men coming on. Oh, we're gonna have the females on too, but next week we're gonna have men's week. Got a couple nice surprises for a lot of brothers coming on next week. So we're gonna have some
Wow.
more fun. So we really going. I really got to have a good subject next week.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right. All right. It's been
Okay.
fun.
Thank you.
All right. Go have some fun. I don't even know what time it is there. I bet you'll be in church tomorrow,
Sounds
right?
good.
You're gonna be in church tomorrow too, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
See. See, she ain't learned nothing, y'all. She ain't learned nothing. She said, "Here, all this time ain't learned nothing." Say, no, I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you. Go ahead. I'm just effing with you. That's all. All right, Jenny. We'll
Okay.
see you again next week. All
Bye.
right.
Okay.
All
Thank
right. Take
you
care.
for having
Bye.
me. Bye.
All right, guys. Once again, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. That puts an end to the theme of this week. We only got 3 episodes in, but hey, no worry. We're definitely going to bring this subject back around. We got to get to men's week next week. So let's get that out the way, and the sooner the better. And we'll come back to this soon at some point, because this is definitely a good subject to remain on. Like I said, we got to change it up every single week. All right. Like I said, y'all guys here on Instagram, continue to follow, tell a friend, tell a family member, say, hey, this is great new show on. And it's helping blacks and Africans come together and intermarry to build a more beautiful us, a more beautiful people where, us all Africans can have dual citizenships, all Americans, black Americans can have dual citizenships to countries in Africa, and vice versa. We're going to work together. We're going to build together. So that's what this is all about at the end of the day. But like I said, family, tell a friend, tell a family member, tell anybody, tell your schoolmate, tell your teacher, your professor for that matter. Tell them to check it out. And definitely want to see you here again. We'll be back Monday, God willing. Um, tomorrow, like I said, look for the posts here on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook for next week themes, so you guys could chime in. And with that said, go follow us on YouTube and Stephen Dalo Lyles on Facebook. Hope you guys had a good time. Hope you enjoyed the show. I love seeing you guys here. I love you being here. You're always welcome to be here. You're always welcome to join the show also. So just let's, as long as we stay on subject, we're going to be good. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. Got a lot to do today. Um, again, peace out. Love you. One love. All right, so let's end this broadcast too. Oh wow, I even